to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions, we'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free. Let's go, let's be free. Be free.
All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is CRUSHIN COVID Daily, May 28th. So glad you're here again for another day. It's a good day to be alive, right? Let's party up. Go. Yes. May 28th. Welcome to CRUSHIN COVID Daily. I am your host, Nathan Amaral. It's another beautiful day. I hope it's just as sunny as it is here. I hope it's just as sunny as it is there. But regardless of the weather, we're all about bringing our sunshine from the inside out. I'm your host, Nathan Amaral. I am the creator and founder of Fearless Millionaire, the #1 source for entrepreneurs to gain more clarity, confidence, and cash flow. Today, we got a really powerful presentation for you, conversation we're going to have about how to communicate effectively with others. So we're going to be making that happen. I noticed we have some sad news, unfortunate news. Speaking of COVID, I just got news just a little bit ago that the United States has surpassed 100 million deaths, which is really unfortunate. And some of those have, even COVID has taken some extended family friends in my family, family members, family friends that we knew for quite some time. And I hope that doesn't impact you or your family or any of my friends here watching. By the way, if you are watching on Facebook, feel free to get over to our YouTube. Get over to YouTube and you can subscribe to be notified to all our upcoming training that we have on real estate investing. There's a bunch of videos on there if you're just getting started out in real estate investing, or you're looking to expand and grow your real estate investing business. Get over to our YouTube and get free training there as well. When I heard the news about 100,000 people have now passed away from crushing COVID, from COVID, it's kind of really interesting, but as it's interesting because we don't know what's going to happen next. I think a lot of states are now open, or they're starting to reopen. I know here, it's kind of interesting. We started being reopened out of lockdown on Monday, and it was interesting. I thought people were just going to open up doors and shops were going to be up to normal and everything, back at it. But unfortunately, it hasn't been that way. But one thing I did find interesting is a lot of people have taken action on remodeling. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it seems like this entire street, people are painting, redecorating, cleaning, remodeling, new windows, doors, all that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting to see that kind of people getting back to business. And that's what we have to prepare for, right? If you didn't hear yesterday's talk here on CRUSHIN COVID Daily, you should get back to it, because we talked about preparing for the future and how you see yourself achieving $1 million in the future. And it's all about planning and positioning. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I want to recognize everyone that's new. If this is your first time here, welcome. Put new in the comments. Would love to welcome you. Thank you for being here. So just type in the word new in comments if it's your first time here. Also, if you've been around and maybe you've been watching Crushing COVID for some time, I'd like to say hello to you again. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you being here. I got a funny video I want to show you, really funny, and it always makes me laugh. So I wanted to show you that today, because sometimes in the midst of grief and pain, it helps to bring comic relief. And one of the things, I've always laughed about this video, but one of the things I looked at also today is how high Apple stock has risen. I'm a big Apple fan. I'm addicted officially to Apple. I have been for a number of years. But one of the things I noticed was their stock price, again, is on the rise again. It was just at 318 this morning. It's currently now at 320 and rising at this point. And it's a lot of little speculation where people are wondering, is that just because of stimulus funds that are coming in, or is this real market price and inflation? So we'll see. It's very interesting, but it is at its peak. And then that reminded me of a video that I want to show you that I absolutely love. And I hope you can enjoy it with me as we just take a few minutes here and before we jump into high effective communication. So I hope I'm going to be able to catch my breath. This movie always makes me laugh. Basically, I don't know if you follow Apple really well, but basically they came out with a really amazing monitor. I think the monitor is about $5,000 in itself. And then there's a metal stand that goes with it. And that metal stand itself is $1,000. So here is Apple engineers explaining this $1,000 stand. Enjoy it with me.
Me mandó por la noche, había bajado el agua y por la mañana había subido. Cualquiera estaba donde la paellera, ¿sabes? A lo mejor está en el barco ese del petróleo.
En el Prestige.
En el Petriense. Y ya no trabajé más la cocina. Ya aborrecí la cocina. Ay, ay, ay. Pues no cobré nada, me dieron el dinero del bote.
¿Había mucho dinero en el bote?
Lo que me echaban y el dinero de lo que gané, me cobraron 20 paelleras a 500 caras, pues viste lo que me llevé yo para Sevilla. Ay, ya aborrecí la playa. Ay, hemos llorado los dos. Ya está, tú, no es para tanto, yo. Yo no quiero arroz, tú. que era Ronnie en China, vamos.
I absolutely love that video. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. And that's actually the short version of a 7-minute video. It's absolutely hilarious. You can check it out online. Oh my gosh, that video makes me laugh every time. So if you ever need a good laugh, I wanted to share that with you today because it is just hilarious. Every time I watch that video, you got to understand like the premise of it about Apple products and stuff like that, and shareholders. It's just so funny. Oh goodness, love that video. So funny. Okay, all right. So let's regain ourselves here. All right. So I want to give you a few updates and what's happening as well. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did, as I do on a regular. I love that video. All right. So down below you can see bit.ly fearless-giveaway. We have we are about, I think we have only like 3 days left. All right. I think it's like, or 2 days left, something like that, where we are giving away 5 lucky winners, 5 lucky spots. We're going to do the announcement on June 1st, and we're going to announce the winners of who are going to be in our remote real estate investing new group training. We've had this training before. It's not the first time we've done it. We have people who's closed multiple deals by being in this group. We're so excited for them. People who want to close deals remotely and maybe live somewhere else or do it from a different state, stuff like that. We have people who are closing land deals, single family deals, small multi-unit plexes. We're going to show you how to do that with our remote real estate investing training, how you can do business from anywhere. Okay. Next, let's see. Okay, that's it. We're going to get right into it. We're going to get into it, guys. So I'm going to share my screen with you here. And bam, should be right. All right. There we go. All right. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to have effective and high, how to be effective and have high-powered conversations. I'll get the title right one day. So I want to share this topic with you because I recently just did a training on it for people in Uganda about, I don't know, maybe like a bunch of organizations, as well as over 50 employees. So I think it was total was about 100, around 90 something people that I just did this training with. So I want to, I know I made a big impact. Everybody was really liking it. So I want to share also the same training with you. And started off by who is me. First of all, I want to let you know, if you guys didn't know this already, my name is Nathan Amaral, and I've been a real estate consultant for 10 years. I've been investing in real estate for 15 years. Some of those years were startup, and those were studying real estate and educational portions of my life. But since then, I've been an international real estate investor, investing in the United States, Uganda, and Portugal, which is here. So when I mentioned about doing remote real estate and being involved in our upcoming training, I can truly make that show that this is your chance right here. See that link below? I can show you how to do that. You can choose to live anywhere you want, but I'll show you how to do business. If you live in the United States and want to invest in the United States, I'll show you how to do that from anywhere. So that's your chance to get in the giveaway. Also, I've hired and trained over 300 salespeople to have effective and profitable conversations. And what I mean by that is I've trained all kinds of salespeople. I've trained from insurance brokers when I was in the insurance business. I've also trained real estate agents. I've trained real estate, I've trained real estate investing educational companies. I've trained a lot, probably like over maybe close to 2,000, maybe 1,500 educational sales consultants. And also I have trained people in the internet marketing space, in the internet marketing world, on how to sell more products over the phone. A lot of my trainings with people has been over the phone. I would say probably 80% of it, and the rest has been face-to-face sales, like direct selling. Even though it's all direct sales, like direct sales over the phone or direct sales in face-to-face, but the majority of my training has been how to help people sell over the phone, and the rest has been face-to-face. My clients have made over 100 million in profits. Now, I know you might think that's like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But the reality of that, is if you divide that by 10 years, that's only 10 million a year. just to make that clear. I know most people were like, holy smokes. But actually, in one of my clients, he actually started a company with $100,000 and turned around and sold it for, excuse me, $100,000, turned around and sold it for $6 million. That company, that company was just a ground startup. So again, and those numbers may, I don't share these numbers to impress you. I share these numbers and these facts here about my history to show you that I've worked with a lot of people, and also I've worked with a lot of in a lot of high power negotiations. Also, I've worked with a lot of salespeople who are just starting out and just getting started in sales and who have never sold anything over the phone before. And there's a method, there's a process. So I want to share some of those with you today on a very step one scale, because a lot of this stuff, especially in sales, can get very deep. But I will share that. We'll kind of start there. Now, I am going to try something a little different. I don't even know if you can see my screen. This might not work. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry. I can't do it that way. So I have to do it this way. All right. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't blow up my screen, so I want to do it this way. All right. So let's go down the list. And by the way, if you have any questions about anything that I'm about to share, what you can do is leave a comment. Okay, put a comment and I will get it answered either while we're live or even after the replay. Okay, so either way. So first of all, let's talk about 6 ways to get people to like you. If you ever want to be liked, I highly recommend you follow these tips and strategies to help you grow your life. All right, the first one is first become genuinely interested in others. Okay, become genuinely interested in other people. And with that being said, that means find something that they are into. Get to know their likes, desires, what they enjoy in life. Also, see if you can build rapport, find commonality. If maybe you grew up in the same state, or maybe you like a sports team in that area, right? Find areas of interest, things that interest them, and find ways you can connect to them. For example, let's say someone absolutely loves to go jet skiing, right? They just love jet skiing. It's something that they genuinely interest them. And maybe you don't do it personally, but you have a relative or a friend that does. You want to bring that person up. Oh, my friend Bob likes that a lot too. He goes on all the time, right? That's just what's called building rapport. So you want to find some form of commonality in those conversations, okay? So that's become interested in others and they'll become interested in you. Because after you start asking people questions like, well, what are you interested in? What did you do over the weekend? What do you really like to do? If you had the day completely off to yourself, what would you do? Now, sometimes people respond, oh, I'll go out with my family and my friends. Yeah, okay. Let's say your family was, doing their own thing. But what would you do like by yourself? That alone time, right? Ask them what they would do. So that's always a great question. It pulls out like that nostalgic things that they like to do, or those hobbies, those deep-rooted hobbies that people love to do but don't have time to do some of the time. Then the next thing you want to do is smile. This works really well. It's really powerful when you smile. And even if you're over the phone, people can feel it. So you may not be face-to-face with someone. You may not be in a video call, but it's important to smile. This makes a big impact on people. It really does. So I encourage you to do that and smile, because people can feel it. Also, people can feel your tonality. People can feel and hear your tonality. And that makes a big impact. But even if you're just walking around, right? Have you ever done this before? You ever tested this out? You just walk around, start smiling at people. They smile back. You ignite a response. If you haven't, give it a shot. Watch what happens. It's contagious, right? So just like laughing is contagious, like we saw in that video. By the way, if you didn't laugh in that video, come on. No, seriously. But smiling is contagious. So be sure to smile and smile at people. Genuinely do it. Not fake smiles, but genuinely. Okay. Also remember the person's name and use it often. It's so important. Now this can be kind of difficult when, like earlier this morning, I was speaking to about 90 something people, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to remember everybody's name in that kind of situation, or if you're speaking to an audience. But in a smaller setting, try to remember people's names, and then use their name. Even better, I forgot what quote this was, but there was a quote that says that nothing is the sweeter sound than someone hearing their own name. Okay, I don't know why, it's just human nature. So use people's names in conversation, and it makes an impact. It gets them to really listen to you and pay attention to you. Okay. Next, be a good listener, not a hearer, be a listener. And I want to just point out something that's really, really important. Like, there's nothing more distracting and annoying when you're talking to someone face to face or maybe in a video call and you have your phone out and you're talking to people. This is probably like, this is one of the biggest distractions that we have in life today, right? And just a tip, in one of the previous COVID shows that I did, I showed you how I knocked out all the notifications on my phone. I don't have any notifications on. The only thing that will come to my phone is a live call. For emergency purposes, a live call will come through and I can hear it. Other than that, everything else is off. I have no dings or pings for any social media or email or anything like that. I like to check my email just like a few times a day. That's it. And then I like to, especially anything else, especially social media, all notifications are off. Okay. So this helps to become a good listener, just avoiding distractions, but also be a good listener by hearing things that they're saying, right? By truly listening into maybe the way they're saying it, maybe the tonality they're saying it in, and also listen for key points, right? Key points that really affects them. They may also sometimes repeat themselves. They may repeat themselves. And when they repeat themselves, they're trying to emphasize a point. So when they're emphasizing a point, like, you want to get clarity on that particular point. Wow, that seems to really mean a lot to you, right? You want to ask those kinds of questions. So let me make sure I understand you correctly. All right. And that's something called labeling. We'll talk about that in just a second. Next, talk in their interests. Talk in their interests. Don't talk about your interests. First, talk about them. Get to know them. Find out what's cool about them. And then when you've done a good job talking about them, they'll come back and ask you, well, what are you into? That's when you've done your job. Okay. That's when you've done communication effectively, when it comes back to you. Does that make sense? Also, make them feel important. A great way to do this is by talking to other people about them, right? Getting information from other people, like their friends, their peers. Hey, what do you think about Sally? What do you think about Joe? Tell me 2 great things about them, right? And get some information on your prospect or your friend or your coworker, whatever it is, okay? Whatever person you're trying to communicate with. Get some information about them. And then you can relay that information by making them feel important. That way you could say, oh, I've always heard good things about you. Let me give you another tip that works really well. It's about compliments, okay? Compliments are one of the fastest and most powerful ways you can make a breakthrough with someone, in a conversation. Okay, and so there's a few ways to do this. Let me give you an example. First of all, when you're giving out a compliment, right? There's 2 ways to do it. There's surface level and there's going deeper. Okay. Surface level is simply this. You see someone and maybe they're wearing, like, simple compliments are, oh, you look good today. Nice outfit, nice hat, right? Simple compliments. Those are very surface level. They're easy. They make people feel good about how they look outwardly. Okay. Those are very surface level compliments. You can do them, but they're not as effective. I want to share with you something that's really effective. And this is the go deeper part. What you have to do to have really effective communication and connection with someone on a deeper level is you have to go for the abstracts, the words that we can't see. Okay. So you want to go for character, something in their character, or who they are as in their personality. Best way is character. Here's what I mean. If you constantly you're building a relationship or with a prospect, or a prospect, a friend, a family member, whoever it is, right? Business partner, and you know something about them. You've seen, like, character traits in them. Maybe they're always on time. They're loyal. They show up to the meetings on time. They're prepared. They take notes. They are always giving suggestions or ideas, right? These are all abstract things, right? They're all about what I'm about to share with you is all abstract. So all of a sudden, what you can do, instead of complimenting on their look and appearance, okay, or an item that they have, I like your bag, nice car, right? What you want to do is go deeper. So that's the deeper part. And that is, hey, I wanted to let you know, and this is not just the compliment. Deeper takes a little bit more time too, by the way. So you want to pull that person aside and say, hey, can I tell you something? One thing I really noticed about you is that you're always on time for our meetings. Hey, one thing I noticed about you, you're great at keeping appointments. Hey, one thing I noticed about you is that, I really admire how you're so organized. One thing I admire about you, I don't know if anyone has ever told you this before, but I really admire how you have not given up in your business. I really admire the fact that you keep pushing forward. You're finding new ways to reinvent yourself and create new things, right? You see how that's much different than a surface level compliment? Much, much different. And that has a big impact. And you want to do this genuinely. Don't do this like just to do it. Do it genuinely. Like if you're trying to build a relationship with someone and build trust and, and have, effective relationships here, then what you want to do is dive deeper and find out things about who they are as a person, not topical level, right? Not just clothes and bags and cars and whatever they have, right? So that helps to dive a little deeper. It makes a big impact. I'd highly recommend you try it and test it out. Watch how well it works. I want to talk a little about leadership here, because leadership it starts with you. Leadership starts with you, and this also has an impact on when you have high-powered conversations. Okay, high-powered meaning you could be talking to another business owner, business partner, or much more, much more deeper conversations, not just maybe family, friends. Maybe this more serious conversations. You got bigger decisions to make, so you have to become a leader. First, when you're in the leadership position, one thing you want to do is you want to praise and give honest appreciation. So maybe you're working with a team. Maybe you're building your business as a team. You want to praise people and give honest appreciation to them, right? You want to let them know how much that you are appreciating what they do, the details, the things they follow, how they're maybe on time, all that kind of stuff. You want to praise them and show appreciation. Also, call attention to people's mistakes, but you want to do that indirectly. You want to do it indirectly. You don't want to do it directly. Okay. So the way to do that is first you talk about your own mistakes first. Okay. Before you start, going to about others, before you start talking about them. Another way to do it is indirectly. And that indirectly part is where you start bringing up a story. You bring up a different situation, a past story. You don't want to bring it up them directly because one, the person could take it, become shy or embarrassed, and it could hit them in a certain way, and they may not be good. They may not be strong enough to receive that. So the best thing you can do is bring up a story or a previous mistake that's happened. Talk about even your own mistakes. Hey, what I learned from this before in the past was this, this, and this, right? That really helps people because it helps to guide them and they see, oh, that sounds like this mistake or that, right? Helps to guide people along. So I highly encourage you do it that way. Also, if you're wrong, you want to admit it quickly, apologize, right? I was wrong, right? That's what leaders do, okay? And it's a great way to make an impact on someone and be, effective communication that way if you are admitting you're wrong, and do it quickly, okay? Also, let the other person do most of the talking. Let them do the talking, okay? You, the listener. As a leader, you want to listen more and talk less. You want to ask more questions to pull out what people are struggling with, what they don't understand, what seems to be unclear. You want to ask more questions. And lastly, as a leader, what you want to do is put down a challenge. You want to put down a challenge, put out a challenge to people, right? Your team, the people that you lead, your family, put out a challenge. Your business partner, put a challenge together, because when you have a challenge, it encourages people to come together. It creates this energy. It creates momentum. It creates people to this call to action to come out and do something, right? And that is really powerful because it gets people engaged, right? It gets people from going from passive to active. So leaders put out challenges, all right? So just like, if you guys don't know this already, if you haven't been through our 14-day challenge, you should go through it. It's a really great challenge, a lot of great reviews. You can actually find it if you're watching us over on Facebook. You can click on the link above the video. If you're on YouTube, it's the link in the description. And you can join us in our 14-day challenge to complete clarity. If you're struggling with, is real estate the right option for me? Or if you've been studying and learning about real estate, but you're not clear on the path you should go in, maybe you're going to seminar after seminar or have all these home study courses. If you have more home study courses than you have real estate deals, then there's a problem. And the Clear the Fog program, which you can find in either or up or down of the description of this video, I challenge you to go through that 14-day challenge. So encourage you to do that because it will definitely help you out, help you clear up the fog, get you cleared up. Next, I want to talk about how to win some negotiations. In order to do that, you must be an active listener during the conversation, as we talked about a bit earlier. You want to use empathy to uncover the obstacles, and this will allow you to gain trust. You also want to do mirroring, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. And this doesn't mean you become a parrot, okay? So if someone's saying the word, it's not like you're repeating the exact same word. Mirroring can also be done in body language. So if you're in a direct conversation with someone and they're crossing their arms like this, then maybe you'd want to lean back and cross your arms also. That's mirroring body language, okay? So you mirror people's body language by crossing your arms and leaning back. And then if you mirror people's language, you don't want to repeat the exact same thing. You want to do what's called labeling. So what you would do, someone will explain something, right? They'll explain their side of things or what they're communicating. They'll explain it, and then you want to do labeling. And that means, I want to make sure I understand you correctly. Let me see if I have this clear. Well, is what you're saying X, Y, and Z, right? You're actually trying to gain clarity, and you want to make sure that you're following along. This also shows that you're listening, shows that you're building trust with them, that you care, and that they're important to you, okay? So labeling will do that, and it's giving labeling for understanding will do that. It'll make sure that you understand what they're saying. This is also a form of mirroring. Now, next is what's called the power of no to give control. This is great in negotiations, and there's a great book out there for this. It's a book that I've read a number of years ago. It's called Never Split the Difference. It's actually a book that we just recently put up on our resources page on our website. It's a great read. A few of our fearless members, I like to call them our fearless family, have been reading also. It is a great read. It tells you the difference of negotiations in a different way through the eyes of a FBI. Hostage negotiation. A hostage negotiator, and how you have to give them control, how you have to have the perpetrator? I don't even know. The person who's taking people hostage, the criminal? Let's just call him the criminal. How you have to let them be in control. And this also works for CEOs or people of high powerful positions, politicians, and anybody who's in high power, how to give control to them first. This also works very well in real estate because people want to feel that they have control. So you, instead of getting to yes first, maybe you're familiar with this in sales where you want to get them to repeatedly say yes. Do you agree with this? Yes. Does this work out for you? Yes. Would you also like to see this, or that? Yes, right? Those getting people in a yes state, excuse me, also is a great way to have effective communication and leads people into sales. However, when you get people into a no state first, it gives them control. And this works really well for high-powered conversations because when you're dealing in high-powered negotiation, you have to let the other person have control first. And then you have to regain the control by creating a win-win situation. Listen, this is a very more detailed thing. It's actually a skill. Negotiation is a skill. Here I'm giving you some skimmed surfaces because of the time we have, and this is not a in-depth masterclass on negotiation. But if you would like to learn more on how to do this, I'd highly recommend you read the book, Never Split the Difference, and check out that book and read through it. Or you can come into one of our trainings or real estate trainings where we show you either one-on-one or in a group setting how to negotiate deals. And it's great. We do this through like live role playing or live calls, or if you're in one of our coaching programs, I show you how to do it first. I show you how to negotiate the deal first. And that always tends to be really powerful for people as well. So so we're really big on leading by example. Yeah. All right. So there's that. And then also lastly in this slide is let them go first, right? In big conversations, you want to let them go first. We also say in real estate investing, you don't want to, you always want to see what they have to say first, what their offer is first, right? If someone's making an offer on your property, you want them to start the negotiations first, okay? So it gives people the power again, that's more of a skill set, but how to win the sale. And I say the sale because at the end of the day, we are our own salespeople. Well, the first person we have to sell every day is me. You have to sell yourself. You have to sell yourself if you think you can or you think you can't. So winning the sale is with you first. First of all, in winning sales, you must learn that you must ask for it. You must ask for the sale. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. Ask and you shall receive, right? So, and also after the sale is made, what you want to do is set the next steps. The next steps is what's going to happen next. What happens after I say yes? What happens after I sign the dotted line? What happens after I swipe my card? What happens next, right? If there's no follow-up, like for example, when we have a signed contract with a seller, we always tell them, okay, listen, this is what's going to happen next. 1, 2, 3, right? In bullets. 1, 2, 3. This is what happens next. We always guide them. When we have a buyer buying a property, we always say, okay, let me tell you what's going to happen next. Boom, 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 right? That's what you want to do. You want to make it easy for them. You want to tell them how it's going to look like, what it will look like in the future if we proceed, and when we close this deal, what it's going to look like. Also, what they should expect. Okay, you also want to set the ground rules, by the way, depending on what kind of business you're in. You also want to set the ground rules. Don't be a yes, yes person. Being a yes, yes person means yes to everything. Okay, you need this? Yes, yes, yes. You can't do that. Okay, you can't do that to be an effective leader and an effective person. You have to be able to say no to people. I remember I struggled with this when I was working 7 days a week, and I would just keep working. People would email me, call me, yep, I'll get it done. Yep, no problem. Yep. And actually, I ended up burning myself out. And what I had to do was reevaluate myself. And I said no to working on Sundays. And I started saying, no, I will not just take calls randomly. You have to book an appointment, and so on and so forth. And that's one strategy I want to tell you right now that you should do. Okay. It's called the ATA method. It's a method, an acronym that I created some time ago when I was training all these salespeople. It's called appointment to appointment. And you basically, you don't want to have like a random open door policy where people just randomly contact you. Okay, that doesn't work very well as you're trying to scale a business. Okay, what you want to do is you want to work from appointment to appointment. If you're going to have a phone call, it's at this time. If you're going to have another task you're going to do, it's that appointment. You have a meeting to go to, it's that appointment. Everything, it has a time slot. And that's the way you want to grow your business. Otherwise, if you don't use the ATA method, you're going to find that you're scattered all over the place and nothing's going to seem to get done. And you're going to scratch your head and wonder, where did the time go? Why didn't I get what I wanted to do and offers made, phone calls made, whatever it is? Well, the ATA. Sometimes what can happen if you don't use the ATA method, what ends up happening is you find yourself, what you should have been a 10-minute phone call ends up being a 1-hour phone call, right? That doesn't work well, right? Have you ever experienced that? And I started this method years ago, and it works really well. I was able to close more sales faster in less time by using this method because it really can impact your time. Listen, at the end of the day, if you don't respect your own time, you're not going to attract people that will respect your time either. No one's going to respect your time either if you don't respect your own time. When you respect your own time, other people will respect your time too. Does that make sense? All right, that's just how it is. You got to respect your own time first. All right, I want to give you some tools for effective communication. Number one is Google Calendar. You should use one. It's very powerful. Okay, if you're using your own personal calendar on there, and you know, it's like there's a lot of calendar options out there, but they're like personal and private. But if you don't have a Google Calendar, you can't connect to other sources. For example, like Zoom or other softwares like Asana or Evernote, right? All these things can interconnect with each other. As an example, means like if you're booking an appointment on your calendar, you want to use Google Calendar on your phone, but then it connects to an appointment booking software. Does that make sense? So everything is in one place. And also, if you ever need to share your calendar, let's say with a team, let's say as you build your real estate company, if you're building a team, well, and you only have your calendar on your phone, well, no one else can see your calendar, right? So how do they know what's going on? So you have to have a team calendar. Does that make sense? Excuse me. So you want to use something like that. Also, to have effective communication, you either want to use a software like Zoom or phone. Let me tell you something. If you're going to use phone or video call, try to get in a quiet and private area. That's a really great way of being effective. Okay, private and quiet. Don't be like walking around at the grocery store trying to get stuff done. Hey, if you want to do that with your family members and you're just having, family talk, whatever, hey, that's fine. But if you're trying to, either build a business or, talk to people of influence and trying to build partnerships, I would highly recommend that you give the respect to that call. Don't be eating while you're on the phone call. Try to avoid noise, right? And just have complete, even if you have to upgrade either your microphone, I highly recommend that. I actually, over the years, I've bought, noise cancellation, not only for myself, not headphones, but noise cancellation background noise for my microphones for when I did calls. Even if it was on my phone, I always had a microphone that was background, it would cancel out noise and background noise. Why? Because if I was maybe in a cafe or if I was passing through, I didn't want people to hear what was going on the outside. That's really important. But if you're doing a video call, make sure that, you're not just, doing other things. I mean, how ridiculous would it be if you're here now watching this video and I'm over here checking out my phone and, spending time on my phone and not really paying attention to you? Same thing when you're having face-to-face meetings, right? How annoying is that when you're trying to have a conversation, maybe you're sharing your point and all of a sudden their phone is dinging, binging, and vibrating and they're over there checking their phone. It doesn't really work that well, does it? So what you want to do is you want to have, a set side of time, make your time private in your most important phone calls if you want to be effective. Next, I recommend Asana. Asana is great if you're building a team. I want to put this in here because if you want to be effective in your conversations, a lot of people will use a messenger service, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever it is, and there'll be a thread. I'll give you an example. Recently in Rotary, I'm a member of Rotary, and we were trying to figure out, well, where are we going to put all these messages that we have from all of us? Should it be email? Should it be this? See, how to be effective in your communication is really important. So someone also recommended Trello or a Facebook group page, right? So where is that going to be? And those are big decisions, especially as you're scaling a company. Well, I always recommend for team collaboration, Asana. And I used Asana in one of my media agencies before I sold it. We used Asana. It was very good. Everyone could communicate there. It was effective. Everyone can see each other's comments, what was needed. Very good. It's also, you could even use it in real estate, but I highly recommend using a real estate CRM instead. But this is great, maybe even for personal or your family, maybe, or your hobbies. Asana is a great team collaboration software. And lastly, Evernote. You've probably heard me talk about this before. If you haven't, you can get over to our YouTube channel and check out the whole training I did on Evernote and the review I did on it. Back in 2016, I decided to stop. I converted all my documents to digital documents and I moved everything over to Evernote and PDF searchable documents. It really helps. And the good thing is you don't have to write these things down anymore. You don't have to carry around a notebook. You can have hundreds of notebooks in Evernote. And you can literally, my favorite part is you can search by word. Search by word, right? So if you're looking for a particular word, you can actually search any word instantly in Evernote. It's the coolest thing. It really is. And that alone saves you a boatload of time. Because have you ever found yourself trying to look through your notes, or it's not in that binder, got to go to another one, and so on and so forth, right? That's just really annoying. And it takes up a lot of time. And so it's not productive and it's definitely not effective. So make sure that you change that up and use something like Evernote. Okay, and lastly, if you're looking for some help in any of these areas or in regards to real estate investing, you can get over and reach out to us at support at fearless-millionaire.com. One of my assistants, either Aubrey or Joanna, they're actually in transition and assigning new roles to each other. So either Aubrey or Joanna will get in touch with you and answer your question. And if they can answer it, it'll come to me and we'll see what we can do to help you out. All right. That's it. That's all we got today, folks. That's Crushing COVID May. What do we have? May 28th. Guys, we only have 2 days left, right? I just want to say that we're coming down to the wire on the, 1, 2, 3. We have 3 days left before we announce, 4 days left until we announce the winner. But we have only 3 days left until you can get involved and get your entries in for the giveaway for remote real estate investing. So if you're still interested in that and want to get a chance, or you want to increase your entries, I highly recommend you do that. And yeah, that's about it. And next week, by the way, we got a lot of new stuff coming out. So CRUSHIN COVID show, just so you're aware, the CRUSHIN COVID show does finish up at the end of this month. So at the end on the 31st, it's going to be no more, right? There's not going to be any more CRUSHIN COVID show. But we are going to transition the show into a new real estate investing show. And we're going to have a lot of interviews. You're going to hear from some of my clients who are closing deals. I'm so excited because in just this month alone, I think we're over, I'm going to get a total number, but I think we're over 100,000 in profits from my clients. I'm so excited. It's just fantastic. I love when my clients make money. And I want to share more of that with you and online as we go into the future, into June into our next season of show business. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining in, and we'll see you real soon. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go. See you there.
So, I was outside cleaning my truck. Yes, I still clean my truck. Lo and behold, FedEx comes, and guess what's inside? Let's see here. Oh yeah, my first check, you guys. Can you see that? $34,000.
You can do this! I believe in you! All right, give yourselves a round of applause.
With the Fearless Millionaire program, and before taking the program, I was having trouble being comfortable on the phone, knowing what to say to people, and just putting more money in my pocket. And I can honestly say,
I am fearless. Millionaire.
You can do it. Don't give up. You are fearless millionaire.